Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you what's known as blind MySQL injection, which is a little bit different than the regular MySQL injection. It's a little bit simpler, but it takes a lot longer to recover information that you want. So we're going to go ahead and find a way to find websites is just to do this .php, just do the in_url.php, and this will usually find websites that use MySQL databases, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's vulnerable. And you can do something like articles.php or news.php. And I was able to find one doing a little bit of searching, so let's just go ahead and use that one. Churchcentral.com article. I mean, it looks pretty good, just a simple article. And we're just going to test it. I already tested if it's vulnerable to regular MySQL, and unfortunately after testing a little while it isn't. But it is vulnerable to blind MySQL. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to test if it's vulnerable. So we're just going to do a simple true statement and 1 equals 1. Notice that the page loads correctly. And what we're going to be looking for is if the page loads incorrectly. So we're just going to do and 1 equals 2, which is a false statement. Notice that a lot of the stuff is missing. So we know that this site is vulnerable to blind SQL injection. Now we're going to go ahead and get the version number. So, oops. Go ahead and get that, and we're going to do a substring and then just get the version. And if the page loads correctly, we'll know that the version equals 4. And let's go ahead and do that. So the page did not load, so it's not 4, so let's go ahead and try 5. Page loaded, so we know that the MySQL version is 5. And now we're going to test if we can use subselect. And basically if select doesn't work, then we can't use subselect and we can't get the data we want. So subselect is going to work. So now we're going to see if we have access to the MySQL user. And it looks like the page did not load, so unfortunately we don't have access to the MySQL.user, so we can't really pull passwords using the load file function or anything like that, but we can manually recover passwords 1 character at a time, which does take a long while, but it does work. So in order to do that, we have to figure out if we have to figure out the tables, the table and column names. So we're going to see if there's a table named users, and usually this is the first one you try and usually the one that works, and in this case it did work. So there is a table named users, and if it loads false, if there's content missing, then you can just try like user, website user, all those other names that it could possibly be. And then now we're going to see if there's a column in users called password. So select substring password from users. And if the page loads normally, we know that the column name is password, and if it loads false, then you're just going to have to try something else. And it loads correctly, so we know that there's a password. And in this case, when you sign in to this site, you need your email too. There isn't really a username that's used on other sections of the site, but not the main site. So we have to figure out if there's an email. We do have access to the email, so we can recover both the email and the password to log into this website. Now we're going to go ahead and start pulling data from the database. This is where there's a lot of guessing, and it takes a long time to really get what you want, but eventually you'll get it. So we're basically going to do a true-false statement, and if the page, we're just going to be checking the first character from the first user in the table users. And this will return the first character, 1 character in length, and it will convert it into an ASCII value, which we can compare with this symbol greater than and then just a number. So if the character from the password is greater than 90, then it'll load true. If it's not, then it'll load false. So we're just trying to find where it turns false. So we notice it loads true. So 90 was Z, capital Z. And let's go ahead and try 96. 96 loads true. Let's try 97. See, 97 loads false. So we know that the first character in the password is whatever the ASCII value of 97 is, which is lowercase a. So now let's go ahead and check the second character. So changes to the 2. Go ahead and press enter. So it's greater than 97. Let's try 98. Oh, looks like it didn't load. So the next character in the password is 98, which is B. And you can also change this to get it for different users by changing this number here. And you can do the different characters of the password. And I'm not really going to do the rest for you. You can do them yourself. I've already contacted the website about the MySQL, so it might not be able to be exploited very much anymore. Hopefully they fix it, because I really don't want any harm to come to their website. But let's go ahead and we can do the same thing for email. Just replace password with email. Go ahead and change this back to 1. And so it's greater than 98. Let's just keep trying numbers. 110. Alright, so we got 110 and it didn't load. So we have to try a number lower than that. So let's try 100. 100 didn't load. So what we're basically trying to do is find the first number where it loads incorrectly, because that is the character. 105, 104, 103. This is where a lot of guessing takes part. Okay, so we see 102 loads, but 103 does not load, so that we know the first character in the email is 103, which is G. And you can just do that to find the entire email and password. You just replace this. You just replace this number with the character, this with the user you want to select, and then just do the greater than thing. We can also do it for username to find the usernames. And let's see, I think I've already figured this one out. Yep, Glenn's at networkalliance.com. I've already figured out his password. Well, there's his email. So you don't really have to figure that one out and log in. Welcome, Glenn. Just to prove that it did work. If you want to learn anything else or would like to see another video tutorial from me, just subscribe to my videos, leave a comment, or head over to my former website. They're in the description of this video. This is Quackware signing out.